With the American Firearms Association, guys. We're going to cut live right to the Senate floor feed. This is John Cornyn, the architect of this massive gun control bill, on the floor right now. We are not far away, we believe, from a Senate vote on this massive omnibus, RINO-endorsed, NRA-backed gun control bill. A lot of information coming tonight. We're going to start right now. We're going to cut right over to listen to RINO Trash Ball, NRA A rated John Cornyn. Listen in here. Let's see what he has to say.
Surrounding this topic causes emotions to run high, and I understand why. For too long, some politicians have tried to pit the right to live in a safe community against the constitutional right to keep and bear arms. They make it seem like our country can only have one or the other, either the Second Amendment or safe schools and churches and grocery stores. And of course, this is a false choice. Law-abiding gun owners are not the problem. Men and women who buy guns to protect themselves and their family, to hunt or engage in sports, they're not a public safety problem. Following the shooting, I promised to do everything in my power to try to answer that call to do something. I don't believe in doing nothing in the face of what we saw in Uvalde and we've seen in far too many communities.
Yeah, let's disarm Americans.
Is an abdication of our responsibility as representatives of the American people here in the United States Senate. At the same time, I reiterated my bottom line, which is I would not support any provisions that infringe.
Guys, this is live feed right now. This is John Cornyn from Texas, NRA, RINO Trash Ball, who has been writing and drafting this entire gun control bill. Here he is trying to tell America how he's pro-gun when they're about to pass a monster red flag gun seizure bill, guys. This is huge, huge stuff. We're going to cut back to his audio here momentarily. Guys, sound off in the comment section. Let us know where you're watching from. We're going to put your comments up on the screen here in a little bit. But for a few minutes here, we're listening to John Cornyn. And guys, you also have to see the epic takedown video AFA President Christopher Dorr did today when he confronted John Cornyn on video. We have that for you in a little bit here. For the time being, let's cut back to John Cornyn right now live.
It stood up to the responsibility that we all have as United States senators to do our very best to make progress, to try to answer the call in the face of these tragedies and try in the end to save lives, which is what this is all about. Now, less than 1 month after the shooting in Uvalde, the Senate will vote soon on the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. This legislation will protect our schools, protect our communities.
Bullshit.
Guard the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens.
Bullshit.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. No parent should ever fear for the safety of their child at school.
Let's cut the crap. Let's cut the crap, John. Folks, everybody knows the biggest killer of innocent citizens in the world is government. It's not criminals. It's not liquor store holdup robberies. It's not even school shooters. The biggest source of dead people on the globe is government. And what John Cornyn is doing right now is going to make it that much easier for the American people to be disarmed. We're not going to give you guys, we're going to bore you guys with too much of what he has to say, but the vote is likely going to be happening tonight. Let's cut back here, get you guys on the screen here. Guys, sound off and tell us where you're watching from. We'll put your comments up here right now in real time. We'll go back here later on if something pops up worthy of you guys to see. But I want to give you guys some names. I want to give you guys some names of things that have been happening today in on the cloture vote in Washington, D.C., because there's a fantastic article that just came out just a little bit ago on thehill.com that listed off all the Republicans that voted yes on the bill, on this cloture vote earlier tonight. I'm just checking some of the comments here. Okay. I'm sorry. And what was interesting about it was how many of these people have an NRA A rating. I'm going to give you guys some of the names right now. Again, these are Republicans who voted earlier today for the cloture vote, which means they began the debate on this massive gun control bill. John Cornyn, who's speaking right now, A rating from the NRA. Mitch McConnell, an A rating from the NRA. Tom Tillis, North Carolina, A rating from the NRA. Lindsey Graham, South Carolina, A rating from the NRA. Roy Blunt from Missouri, an A rating from the NRA. Rob Portman, Ohio, A rating. Richard Burr, North Carolina, an A rating. Mitt Romney, for gosh sakes, A rating with the NRA. Lisa Murkowski, for the love of all that is holy, an A rating from the NRA. Todd Young, Indiana, an A+ rating with the NRA. Joni Ernst from my home state of Iowa, A rating with the NRA. Joni, it says in this article on thehill.com, went so far as to say that she was open to raising the minimum age on buying AR-15s to 21 as an A-ranked NRA legislator from Iowa, one of the most pro-gun states in the entire freaking country. Shelley Moore Capito, West Virginia, A rating from the NRA. And Bill Cassidy, trash ball RINO from Louisiana, A ranked with the National Rifle Association. Folks, these are the people who were shivving you in the back right now. And each one of the names that I read off, each one of them not only voted for this, they all have an A rating from the National Rifle Association. The other Republicans who were yes votes today on the cloture vote who don't have an A, Pat Toomey from Pennsylvania, Susan Collins from Maine, and I believe that was it. This is the list. These are the people who are making this happen. These are the people who are trying to pass, and let's be clear what they're doing here. All this A-ranked legislators, these A-ranked politicians, they're voting for a bill that does the following. Number one, $750 million to bribe our state legislatures into passing red flag gun seizure bills, red flag gun seizure laws. Your guns will be confiscated before you have ever been convicted of a crime. I don't want to breeze over that. I'm going to say that again. Your guns will be confiscated, be under a red flag law before you've been arrested, indicted, or convicted of a crime. It is the end of due process. It is the end of the idea that we are innocent until proven guilty. It is over, folks. They will take away your guns before you've ever been convicted of a crime. And later on, maybe you can go back in there and try to prove that you're not a criminal, that you're not crazy. How can you prove a negative? That's what this bill is. That's number one. Number two is the 10-day waiting period for American citizens to buy firearms under the age of 21. So we all saw the summer of rage in our country in 2020. We watched our cities burn. The Iowa State Capitol, where I'm from originally, the Iowa State Capitol, they had tear gas, they had riots, they had massive police response. The Ohio State Capitol, we work a lot out there as well. They broke into the building and tried to light it on fire. Atlanta was burning. Cops were murdered in St. Louis, all across our country. St. Paul was a war zone, burned to the ground, almost $1 billion in damage. New York City was a zombie land for 6 months. Can you imagine being a 20-year-old American during that time and you want to buy a firearm? You want to buy a firearm to defend yourself? There's rioting mobs burning down your city. The police have basically withdrawn because they're outmanned, frankly, and there's no political support for them. Can you imagine people like John Cornyn, this arrogant bastard, saying you can't have a gun? The criminals can all have the guns. The criminals all have the guns, but you can't have one because you're not 21. That's what the NRA is supporting. So red flag laws, waiting periods on gun purchases. They're redefining what dating relationships mean. Now, that might sound innocent. It's not, because the Lautenberg Amendment takes guns away from people with domestic violence convictions in situations where they're married to somebody or have a kid in common. Everyone knows abusers should be beaten down, frankly, and we all hate them. They're scum of the earth. But what they're doing here now is redefining what a dating partner is. And they specifically say that we're not going to define it. We're going to leave it up to the judges to decide. So if you dated somebody one time 6 months ago and something happened, they could come to you then with this Lautenberg stuff and take away your guns over misdemeanors. Again, expanding who can be disarmed by misdemeanor convictions. Guys, this bill goes on and on. It redefines trafficking. It redefines straw purchases. If you give a gun, if you sell a gun to somebody who down the road uses it to commit a felony, you're facing 25 years in the penitentiary, federal penitentiary. I see my good friend Ryan Waters on here. Good to see you, my man. And I agree. The NRA has been shit for years. Well said. I agree. And love to see you again sometime in person. So this is all happening right now. And I just want to be clear. This is not Joe Biden doing this. This is not Chuck Schumer doing this. They're not getting 50 votes from the Democrats and then have the Kamala Harris break the tie. They're going to have between 14 and 16 Republicans on this bill. 14 to 16 Republicans on this bill. The vote will likely be taking place tonight, and it's going to be fast-tracked over in the House because the NRA has had a direct hand in drafting this bill. There is media reports all over the place. Politico, thehill.com, John Cornyn himself saying how, oh yes, we had their support. Susan says, I'm confused. I thought we had a victory today. Susan, you're referring to the SCOTUS decision, and we can discuss that perhaps later on tonight. That was a massive victory. We had that video earlier today. This right now is the vote happening in the Senate. Got some live feed here. Let me put this back on the screen. This is live feed. This is happening as we speak in the Senate. Let me get these comments off of here for just a second and put this up in a different screen. There we go. This is happening right now. This is happening right now on the floor. This is John Cornyn, A-rated John Cornyn, telling you that, you know what, American citizens, you should have your gun rights confiscated by a liberal judge before you've been convicted of a crime. You know what, America? Screw you. If you're 20 years old, 19 years old, 18 years old, you can fight for your country across the globe. You can die for your country, but you can't have a firearm unless you wait 10 days first. And if that gets people killed, he doesn't give a shit. This is what's happening right now in your Senate because the Republicans in D.C., aided by, with the full support of the National Rifle Association, are supporting this legislation. This is evil stuff. Evil stuff. Guys, take all the time you have left to contact your senators. You can call them. You can email them. Oh, my gosh. Here is one of the worst of the worst. Let me share my screen again. We've got Dick Blumenthal. Let me put this back up here. Discuss a self-loathing piece of trash. This is Blumenthal, the worst of the worst. Let me adjust my screen here. Here we go. This guy hates this country. This guy hates gun owners. He hates the Second Amendment. Look at the demonic eyes in that man's head. These people want you completely disarmed. They want you completely unable to defend yourself. These people want our country to look like every other country on earth. And you know what that means? That means where the government has all the power, the government has all the guns, and we, the people, are helpless and unable to defend ourselves against criminals but more importantly, against tyrants. That is the goal of this legislation. It puts us on that road. It is despicable stuff. This is what's happening right now, folks, in Washington, D.C. I want to show you guys a killer video because we talked to you a lot about the NRA endorsing this stuff, the NRA involved in writing these compromise deals. But there's other gun rights organizations in D.C. as well, right? And the problem is they're all raising tens and tens of millions of dollars, but they never actually do a damn thing. You don't see them in Washington, D.C. Our team has been there for weeks, around the clock, working on this. You don't see them in D.C. You don't ever see them confront these politicians and say, why the hell are you trying to take away our freedoms? Well, earlier today, my brother, Chris Dorr with the American Firearms Association, and other members of our team nailed John Cornyn to the wall outside as he was walking on the Capitol for a few minutes. And I want to show you guys this because this is the difference. This is the difference between the American Firearms Association and all the rest of these organizations out there across the country who just, they take your money and you never hear a damn thing. They take your money and they never actually get these people's faces and fight to defend your freedoms. Let me pop this video up here right now. I'm going to share my screen again. And you guys, let me make sure my volume's up. You guys have got to hear this. Give me a couple mouse clicks and you guys can watch it for yourself. Okay, I'm going to reduce the screen here. Give me one more second, guys. All right, here we go. You guys have got to hear this.
Hey, Cornyn, you're delivering a great big victory for the gun control crowd. What have you ever done in your Senate career to expand gun rights?
I think you're propagating misinformation.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. You're funding red flags for all the states, dude. What the heck? What have you ever done in your Senate career to advance gun rights?
Nothing.
Anything? Yeah, but watch out. Cornyn, you're delivering a great big victory for the gun control crowd. What have you ever done in your Senate career to expand gun rights?
I think you're propagating misinformation.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. You're funding red flags for all the states, dude. What the heck? What have you ever done in your Senate career to advance gun rights?
Nothing.
Anything? Yeah, but watch out.
This is how I'm talking about, guys. This is how these other organizations, they refuse to act. They raise tens and tens or hundreds of millions of dollars a year, and they don't ever even get in their freaking faces. This is what happened earlier today. This is AFA's team on the ground, and this is not the only time they had a camera in people's faces. We also talked with Ben Sass today and others and said, take a guy like John Cornyn or Chuck Grassley. Now, I'll be fair. Chuck was voting the right way on this fight right now in D.C. But these guys have been in the Senate, many of them, for longer than I have been breathing air on this earth. 3 decades, 4 decades, longer in many cases. These people have been in D.C., guys like John Cornyn, guys like Chuck Grassley, guys like all the rest of these idiots, and we have never in my lifetime that I am aware of ever seen a pro-gun victory in the United States Senate. If I'm wrong, and there's guys here who are much smarter than I am, if there's guys in the comment section right now, guys, who know of a thing that I'm forgetting about, please let me know, and I'll happily take that back. But, we've watched these guys for years. They take the support from gun owners at election time. They take your money. They take your votes. They take all your volunteer time. They tell you, you've got to support us because otherwise the damn Democrats are going to pass gun control. And right now, in the biggest fight that we have had in decades, these Republicans sit here and they're the ones who are doing this to us. This is sickening stuff. These are disgusting people, and I cannot say it enough. These people have NRA Republican A endorsements, A ratings. So as gun owners, I'm telling you guys, as gun owners, we have got to get smarter. We have got to work harder. For every time that you've heard someone tell you, oh, you got to vote Republican, you can't vote Democrat. Well, I'm fine with that. But what kind of Republican? We don't need any more Joni Ernsts in the Senate. She went to the Senate in 2014 saying she's going to make them squeal, right? If you're from Iowa, or if you watched her TV ads, if you're not from Iowa, you know what I'm talking about. She's going to make them squeal, she said, talking about castrating hogs on a farm as a girl in Iowa. The only people that you're making squeal right now, Joni, are gun owners in Iowa. We don't need any more Joni Ernsts. We don't need any more Roy Blunts. We don't need any more Mitt Romneys. So as gun owners, we must, for the sake of our children, the sake of our freedom, we need better people in D.C. We cannot simply vote Team R anymore. I'm sorry I'm getting fired up, guys. I'm so pissed off at Republican RINO backstabbing traitors and at the NRA who helped make this happen. It's just hard to be calm. What can I say? It's hard to be calm. Guys, it is time to get involved with the American Firearms Association and join this fight. We are on the ground fighting for you around the clock in D.C. You just watched that video with Chris live in confronting John Cornyn live earlier today. We've been there nonstop for weeks. We need you guys to be involved in this fight today. It's joinafa.org. I have a graphic here. We'll show you guys. Get involved. We'll send you guys this killer shirt. Get you guys some swag. Joinafa.org. We know you guys don't join for the swag. I mean, that's a cool shirt. I'm not gonna downplay it. But that's not why we're involved in this fight. I mean, if you guys want to get a killer flashlight or a range bag or a damn sweater, just join the NRA. They're effing our country over, and they figured themselves, you know what? As long as we give our members some swag, we give them a decal, we give them a flashlight, we give them a hat, we give them a T-shirt. These fools, they're never going to get wise on this. So we'll give you a shirt. We want you guys to wear it and help advertise our organization. But your money with AFA goes to fighting crap like this. It goes to holding the line against gun control at the federal level, because this is the fight of our time, guys. This is happening in real time. And the vote is going to take place yet tonight in the Senate, and then very likely later on, either late tonight or more likely tomorrow in the House. And this bill is going to go from introductory vote on Monday or Tuesday. No, Tuesday. Introductory vote on Tuesday to Biden's desk by this weekend. Perhaps the fastest vote that I have ever seen in all my years working in gun politics, because the Republicans are sitting there aiding this stuff, making it happen, and voting for it right alongside of pieces of filth like Chuck Schumer, Dick Blumenthal, Senator Durbin, and everybody else. We got some new idiot here speaking right now. This guy is truly a nobody. We're not even going to cut over to that video right now. So, guys, you got to be involved in this fight. We have got to make the phones melt in D.C. I'll give you guys the phone number again for the switchboard. Let me just check my phone right here. Guys, Bill Cassidy is time. I'm getting reports from my allies here. Bill Cassidy, piece of trash from Louisiana, who's giving money against conservative firebrands like Marjorie Taylor Greene, on the floor right now saying anyone who says this bill is anti-gun is a liar. Now, Bill Cassidy, you're a piece of shit, and you're a liar. Sorry, guys. Like I said, I'm kind of fired up right now. Let me get you guys that phone number for the switchboard. Again, make your calls. Don't give up. This is not over till it's over. Don't ever stop calling. The phone number, 202-224-3121. 202 224-3121 to contact your senators, your congressmen, and tell them, if you vote for this, the NRA might give you cover, but by goodness, we're not. Grassroots gun owners will not. And we're going to come after you guys with everything we've got when the time comes, guys. This is happening in real time. Thank you, Nathan, my man, for posting that comment. I know that you prefer to see Chris on video, but he's busy right now, so you're gonna have to take what I got, man. Thank you for being on the comment section tonight. We appreciate that. You know, a lot of people are saying, if we're in a red state, I wish we could. Let me watch this audio. Hang on one second, guys. Hold on.
Madam President, what this legislation says, that unless you are adjudicated, now adjudicated is a $5 word that means you go before a judge, and the judge looks at the evidence. And under this bill,
hang on, guys.
If a state puts this into law, then they've got to follow due process, which says that the person who may lose their Second Amendment right has the right to an attorney. A higher standard for the evidence that must be presented, that person has their day in court. This was the gold standard that the National Rifle Association always advocated for.
There it is.
As if we were going to take Second Amendment rights from someone who should not have.
There it is, folks.
And this bill has that gold standard.
See, folks, that's what I'm talking about right there. The NRA fully backed this. The NRA tells them this is okay. The NRA gave them their blessing, because if you listen to Bill Cassidy, this piece of trash wants you to believe that they have due process because they have removed the ex parte provisions from this bill. But here's what he's not saying. You don't have to have a conviction for a crime to lose your guns. The whole idea of due process, is because when you're facing criminal charges, you have protections. You have legal protections. You have due process. That's the whole point. You're not even facing criminal charges here. There is no charges in many cases. There's no arrest. There's no indictment. There's no conviction. There's nothing. They just pick a name. I'm going to pick a name here. They say Vern Menninger is watching right now. Oh, I think Vern's dangerous. Maybe it's an ex-spouse. Maybe it's a current spouse. Maybe it's an angry aunt you haven't seen for 20 years. Maybe it's a liberal neighbor. Maybe it's a pissed-off coworker. I think Vern's dangerous. And you go before a judge, you make your allegation, and if the judge agrees, you're screwed. But this arrogant bastard can sit here on the screen and say, this is due process. There's no due process because there's not even criminal charges involved. They're simply taking your guns before you've ever been convicted of anything. Damn these people for doing this, and damn the NRA for supporting this, and damn these RINOs for making this happen. Folks, let this burn deep. Let this burn deep into your mind tonight. These are the names. Again, I'm going to say it again. These are the Republicans who voted yes on the cloture vote this morning. These are the Republicans who voted for that, and these are the ones that have A rankings or A pluses in some cases from the NRA. John Cornyn, Mitch McConnell, Tom Tillis, Lindsey Graham, Roy Blunt, Rob Portman, Richard Burr, Mitt Romney, Lisa Murkowski, Todd Young, phony Joni Trashball Ernst, Shelley Capito, and Bill Cassidy. All of them were yes votes. All of them have A rankings from the National Rifle Association. Pat Toomey is also on here, as is Susan Collins. They do not have an A rating, shockingly. But these are the ones who are doing it to you. These are the ones who are doing it to you. So, folks, going forward, and we'll see what happens. This is going to be a tough one to stop. Chad, they have not voted yet. They're in floor debate on this right now, just to answer your question. Going forward, as we talk, as we fight for our freedoms at the state level, at the federal level, it has to begin with a better understanding of who is screwing us. The NRA is screwing us. The NRA is screwing you. One fourth, at least 1/4 of the Republicans in D.C. right now are screwing us. Matt Weilich, we're discussing the situation in D.C., not New York State. So Rob Ort, obviously, as you know, is a state senator, not in the United States Senate. So this is not discussing local stuff. You got 14 to 16 Republicans out of 50 who are screwing you over already, somewhere around 1/4. So going forward, again, take your money out of the NRA. Join the American Firearms Association. Join AFA.org. Get involved in this fight. Number one. Number two, stop giving your support, your blind allegiance. And you guys aren't, I know you guys aren't doing this because this is AFA members. You guys are the best there is. But we have to stop as gun owners giving Republicans our blanket support. These rat bastards need to earn it. They need to earn it. And stuff like this shows you, I mean, take a Joni Ernst. I see my good friend Heath Gray here right now in the comment section. You know, guys like Heath and I, we grew up. We grew up in Iowa, and for 15 years been involved in Iowa state politics. Everybody knows Joni Ernst came across as this local country girl from Red Oak, Iowa. Big gun gal, had her handgun out there. You know, folks. And deep down, I knew Joni. I knew her from her time in the state Senate. I knew she was a limp noodle at best. And all the rest of these Republicans and so many gun owners across the state said, oh, no, she had a gun in her ad. I mean, she's shooting her handgun. Folks, we're being played for fools. We're being played for suckers by trash. By people like Joni Ernst, Roy Blunt, all of the rest of these names. We cannot any longer vote for people simply because they are a Republican. We cannot. That needs to stop. So, guys, we're going to keep fighting on this, but keep it coming, guys. Get involved in this fight tonight. Join AFA.org. A lot of guys are getting signed up tonight. I'm short-staffed a bit here, as you can see, but I can tell for a fact that Philip in Highland, Kansas, just joined up at joinafa.org. We appreciate that very much, Philip. John from Watkinsville, Georgia, just joined up. Thank you, John. David from Proctorville, Ohio, just joined up. William in Lima, Ohio, just joined up at joinafa.org. I can't scroll quite fast enough to see all this stuff right now. But, guys, get involved in this fight tonight. It is raging. Jimmy Davis says they want no resistance from the population when they pull their last act to ban AR-15s, 30-round magazines, semi-automatic handguns, etc. That's what this is. That's what this is. This puts them on the path to eventual total disarmament of the American people. All of these things, all these facts in this bill can be expanded. They can expand red flags. They can expand the waiting periods. They can expand the definition of dating partner. They can expand the definition of trafficking. It's all able to be expanded. It's all able to be made worse. And they're putting us on the path to that ultimate goal. There is nothing about this that is a compromise. This is all a loss. This is the Republicans and the NRA helping the radical left pass the biggest gun control bill in America since at least the early 90s. It's terrible stuff. It's terrible stuff. Daniel Jenkins, how do I get stickers and decals? Daniel, join up at joinafa.org and we'll have our team. We'll send you out all that stuff in the mail. So make sure and do that there. I'm reading some of the comments here. A lot of comments. John says Republicans are the new Democrats. Yeah, exactly. I mean, absolutely. We need, some of these comments I can't read out loud. Appreciate your fervor, guys. Trust me. Man, there's just a lot of people here commenting right now. Yeah, people are asking, what about SEPA? You know, That's the last line of defense in red states is SEPA legislation that limits the state and local law enforcement officers to only enforce state level laws when it comes to guns and ammunition. And we'll have much more on that, guys, in later on videos. Joseph says, how is the NRA supporting these bills? Joseph, my man, it's very simple. They're drafting the damn thing. Number one, it's all over Google. It's all over Twitter. Take a moment. It's all over the place. They're drafting the damn bill, number one. Number two, all of these Republicans who are voting for this trash are A-rated with the NRA. And number three, they have been loudly championing red flag gun seizure laws for a long time. Does anybody here not believe me on that? Does anybody here not believe that the NRA has helped to draft this stuff? Just in case anybody out there watching thinks that, watch this video.
Importantly, we need to stop dangerous people before they act. So Congress should provide funding for states to adopt risk protection orders. This can help prevent violent behavior before it turns into a tragedy. These laws allow a court to intervene and temporarily remove firearms when a person threatens violence to themselves or others. To be effective and constitutional, they should have strong due process protections and require that the person get treatment.
You see that? You see that? Did you hear old Chris Cox say there should be a conviction? Did you hear Chris Cox say there should be a felony conviction? Nah, man. That is the NRA doing this to you, folks. Did anybody out there watching right now, when you gave money to the NRA, did you do it hoping that these people would draft red flag gun seizure laws? Because that is what's happening tonight. That is what's happening tonight. A lot of guys here saying they're scraping their NRA stickers off their trucks and off their caps. Appreciate that, guys. Keep that crap up. This organization needs to go away. I know that for generations, this was a status symbol from so many people. Maybe there was a time when that made some sense. There wasn't, because, of course, these guys have been given compromises in D.C. for decades and decades and decades. But for anybody else who is not sure, this is what's happening right now. That video that I just played for you, that's how we got here. That's how we got here. The NRA tells Mitch McConnell, we're okay with red flag laws. You guys can take them. You guys can take away their guns. Jesus says, I'm going to call tomorrow and cancel my membership. Thank you very much, Jesus. Join AFA.org and get involved in that fight with a real organization who will freaking fight for you in D.C. So they go to Mitch McConnell and say, that's okay. We don't mind red flag laws. You guys can do it. And we're going to not dock anybody's grades. Hell, we'll help you write the bill. And that's what's happening. So many people are saying right now, will the Supreme Court strike this down? Well, here's what we know. So the Supreme Court has ruled recently, Tioga, no. Where has GOA been? Where has GOA been? We just showed you guys a video of AFA confronting John Cornyn. Where have these guys been? They're just AWOL. They're AWOL. No. Getting back to what I was saying, everybody's asking about the NRA, about this bill and the Supreme Court. So here's the deal. The courts have recently ruled that taking away someone's firearms without a court conviction is not lawful. They have overturned some convictions on that. That's happened recently at the lower court. Other courts have recently ruled that raising the age to 21 on Americans to buy firearms is also not constitutional. So will the Supreme Court strike this stuff down? It's possible. It's possible. Of course, today's decision was a massive victory for gun owners. But, it's taken that case, that situation that launched the SCOTUS decision from today began in 2014. 2014. I'm not a math major, but I believe it's around 8 years. It's taken 8 years 8 years to get this relief today in the courts. And of course, we're happy to have it. Make no mistake. But I mean, can this be struck down? Maybe. But it's going to take years and years and years to do it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But guys, this is happening right now, and it's just absolutely outrageous. NRA is doing this to us. Republicans are doing this to us. And you guys, you should be enraged with these people, enraged with the NRA, enraged with Mitch McConnell, enraged with Mitt Romney. Ethan says, what was the SCOTUS decision? Hold on a minute. Jen says, can you post the link for membership? Jen, I can't post in the comments. I'm running too many screens right now. What I will give you, Jen, is this. Hold on 1 second once here. Here you go, Jen. Just write this down. Where is it? Here we go. Right here, the bottom right-hand corner, joinafa.org. That is the website to go to, joinafa.org. Go right there and get joined up today, joinafa.org, and get involved in this fight. It's going to be a big one, and it's not going to stop because they're going to come right after AR-15s next. They're going to come right after 30-round magazines next. There's a lot of talk about much more gun control even besides all of that. So get involved in that, guys, and get involved in this fight. People are saying, again, what did happen with SCOTUS today? Okay, all right. We'll break it down for you. Number one, today's SCOTUS decision says that we now have and first of all, these rights come from God, okay, not from the Supreme Court. But the courts have to acknowledge our God-given right to carry a firearm in public places, not just in our homes. If you've been involved in the fight for gun rights, you know the DC versus Heller decision, the Heller decision from 2008, landmark decision that said we have an individual right to keep and bear arms, not a collective right. It's not a governmental right. It is an individual, personal right to keep and bear arms. But they limited that to your property. So there's a big problem in blue states like New York, where they said you can have a gun in your apartment, but you cannot carry that gun out of your house, out of your apartment, out of your office. And so now T-Rex says, where are you shipping your shirts through? USPS, T-Rex. That's where they're coming from. Okay. So now these rights now extend to any place in the public that you're lawfully allowed to be. That was the first big part of this victory. And that was number one. Number two, they said that in the future, any other future regulations that come from state or federal legislatures have to go in compliance with what happened in today's decision. They have to defend their decision in light of this court ruling today. That was number two. And number three, and perhaps the biggest of all, they struck down New York State, and then by extension, was it California, Hawaii, Maryland, Massachusetts, Jersey, Rhode Island, and also DC. They struck down their provisions that said you have to have a special reason if you want to carry a firearm for self-defense. Oh, you want to guard your family? Yeah, tough shit. That's not enough. What is your special reason? Yeah, self-defense? No, not good enough. Second Amendment? Yeah, not good enough. It's my by God right as an American citizen? Yeah, not good enough. You have to have a special reason if you want to carry a firearm. That's what they said. And that has been struck down now by this decision. So this is a massive victory. Carry a gun in public. It's not just on your private property. No need for a special reason. And number three, future gun control laws have to follow this framework at the state level. So let's see. Schumer's talking right now. Thank you for the tip on that. Where was that? Eric, appreciate that, man. But the question we're getting a lot from people right now is, what happens in like New York State or California or any place else? I want to be clear on this. These states now have to go back and rewrite these laws. So you cannot immediately carry a firearm in public in downtown New York City. You can't carry in downtown LA right now. Joe Blackwell, can I talk to a real person to join AFA? Yeah, Joe, give us a shout tomorrow. We're kind of slammed right now, man, but give us a shout. And one of our staff guys, myself, somebody else, we'll try. We're busy, but we'll try to get you the phone if we can. So you can't carry tomorrow in downtown LA in a public place. You can't carry downtown tomorrow in New York City. You have to give time for this decision to be reflected at the state level. And these blue states are going to fight like hell against it. New York State has already said they may have a special session in Albany to try to grind away even more at gun rights in light of this decision. So we're going to have to wait and see. I'd be careful exercising gun rights in these blue state strongholds because this decision came out today, and it's going to take time for these to be worked down through these state level legislature, their bodies. Guys, there's just so much happening right now. It's hard to keep this screen going and all these different platforms. We're watching Schumer right now. Let me give you guys a little clip here. It's going to make you gag. Make you guys gag here. Check this guy out. Let's pop some screens down here. Hold on one second. Let's get some audio from this idiot.
To pass this life-saving gun safety bill. Now, Madam President, I withdraw amendment number 5100.
The senator has that right. The amendment is withdrawn.
The senator
No
has that
further
right.
debate on the motion to concur with an amendment.
If there is no further debate, the question is on the motion to concur in the House amendment to S 2938 with amendment number 5099. The yeas and nays were previously ordered, and the clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Baldwin.
Aye.
Mr. Barrasso.
This is a final vote, folks. As far as I understand it, this is the final vote
Mr. Bennett.
on this bill.
Mrs. Blackburn. Mr. Blumenthal.
You're going to see it, guys, in real time. Your gun rights being betrayed by Republicans with A rankings. Keep watching. This is the final vote, folks, happening right now.
Mr. Blunt.
Yep, this is it, folks.
Yeah, I did. Okay. Look. Okay. I got it.
Look at all these backslapping bastards. Here's Mitt Romney right here, shaking hands with all these gun grabbers. John Cornyn giving him this big embrace. Hey, buddy, good job. We're taking away gun rights. Good job, buddy. Here goes Lindsey Graham, clapping him on the back right there. Hope you guys can see that. There's phony Joni Trashball Ernst right there. White hair. Gosh, she got old. Hugging Lindsey Graham. Oh, what a great day. Red flag gun seizures. Look at her. Her hands up right there. For the record, that was Joni Ernst. Shameful. Who else do we got here? Here goes Spartacus, Cory Booker right there, hugging his buddy John Ossoff from Georgia. Chris Murphy hugging him right there. These people hate your country. These people hate your freedoms.
Mr. Booker.
Aye, he says.
I do, thank you.
You're watching it live, folks. You're watching it live.
Thank you, you too. I did, thank you.
We got Mike Lee back here. He's going to be a no vote. He's voted no. Good job for Mike Lee. Appreciate
Mr.
that.
Braun. Mr. Brown.
Senator Warnock back here. Raphael from Georgia got his big old thumb in the air. Take away those guns, man. Take them. Who do we got? Amy Klobuchar right here.
Ms. Cantwell, Mrs. Capito, Mr. Cardin, Mr. Carper, Mr. Casey.
Hugging these people.
Mr. Cassidy, Ms. Collins, Mr. Coons. Mr. Cornyn, Ms. Cortez Masto, Mr. Cotton, Mr. Kramer, Mr. Crapo, Mr. Cruz.
Ted Cruz will be a no vote. Daines will be a no vote. Crapo and Risch from from Idaho should certainly be a no vote based on their actions. Tammy Duckworth, Wisconsin, she'll be voting in favor of this trash.
Mr. Durbin, Ms. Ernst, Mrs. Feinstein, Mrs. Fisher, Mrs. Gillibrand, Mr. Graham, Mr. Grassley.
Here you've got Mitch McConnell right here, the turtle man, shaking hands with his buddy John Cornyn, the architect of this bill. Here's Chris Murphy from, Blumenthal. Let me drop this audio a bit. We'll drop their feed. This is Blumenthal right here. Here comes Chuck Schumer shaking hands with freaking John Cornyn. Mitch McConnell shaking hands with Chuck Schumer. Folks, your rights are burning. And these people are laughing it up, shaking hands, giving hugs, because they're passing red flag gun seizures with the NRA's support.
Mr. Kelly, Mr. Kennedy, Mr. King, Ms. Klobuchar, Mr. Langford, Mr. Leahy, Mr. Lee, Mr. Lujan, Ms. Lemus, Mr. Manchin, Mr. Markey, Mr. Marshall, Mr. McConnell.
Turtle Man puts his thumb in the air.
Mr. Merkley, Mr. Moran, Ms. Murkowski, Mr. Murphy.
Don't forget, folks, if you're mad at this,
Mr. Murray, Mr. Ossoff.
Don't forget, folks, if you're furious watching this, if your blood is boiling watching this, don't forget the National Rifle Association has made all of this possible. They have helped to draft this bill. They have helped to support this bill, and it's 14 of their A-ranked Republicans, or 16 now, who are going to vote for this. So if you're mad watching this, don't just get mad at Chuck Schumer, for heaven's sakes. NRA, the National Rifle Association, is making this happen.
Mr. Warnock, Ms. Warren, Mr. Whitehouse, Mr. Wicker, Mr. Wyden, Mr. Young.
Disgusting.
Senators voting in the affirmative: Baldwin, Bennett, Blumenthal, Booker, Brown, Burr, Cantwell, Capito, Cardin, Carper, Casey, Cassidy, Collins, Coons, Cornyn, Cortez Masto, Duckworth, Durbin, Ernst, Feinstein, Gillibrand, Graham, Hassan, Heinrich, Kelly, King, Klobuchar, Leahy, Lujan, Manchin, Murkowski, Murray, Ossoff, Padilla, Peters, Portman, Reed, Romney, Rosen, Schatz, Schumer, Shaheen, Sinema, Smith, Stabenow, Tester, Tillis, Van Hollen, Warnock, Whitehouse, and Young.
Hear all those GOP names, folks?
Senators voting in the negative: Blackburn, Bozeman, Crapo, Daines, Fisher, Hawley, Hyde-Smith, Kennedy, Lee, Lummis, Marshall, Paul, Risch, Rounds, Rubio, Thune, Tuberville, and Wicker. Mr. Langford, no.
This is real-time votes, folks, on the Senate floor. Real-time votes on this massive omnibus gun control bill. National funding for red flag gun seizure laws. Extended waiting periods. Let me drop this volume here. Extended waiting periods for gun purchases for Americans under age 21. They're redefining what a gun seller is. They're redefining what trafficking means. If you so much as sell a gun to somebody who down the road uses that firearm to commit a felony, your butt is facing 25 years in the federal penitentiary. They're also going to redefine what a dating relationship means, to use the Lautenberg Amendment to attack countless gun owners and take away their guns before they have a felony conviction. And guys, that's just scratching the surface. There is so much here. Terrible stuff. Mel Weingartner, see you, bud. Take your NRA butt kissing to somebody else's page. You're kicked the hell off of ours. What else do we got here? Yeah, Bruce Mann says, Pelosi already said once this bill passes the House, he's going after AR-15s. You're exactly right, man. McConnell is an aye. There we go. Terrible stuff. We're getting real close here, folks, to the final count on this bill. You'll have to wait here for a few more minutes to see it. My phone's burning down with Capitol Hill staff. We're being told right now, folks, that we may see 30 Republicans in the House vote for this garbage when the bill goes over there. So you have got to be burning down those phone lines tomorrow, calling your House members. This is going to be a big vote, and it's going to probably happen as early as tomorrow, very likely. Go back here to some of the comments. Yeah, Kim Harris says the NRA endorsed McConnell. Yeah, that's the point. 14 of these people at least have A rankings from the National Rifle Association. It's terrible stuff, guys. Join AFA.org. Get involved in this fight today. We're not going to betray you. This is absolutely unforgivable conduct on the part of the NRA, on the part of Senate Republicans. It is terrible stuff. Peggy, Missouri is a SAPA state. I did not say they weren't. Missouri is a SAPA state. We're getting close here, guys, to the final vote. We're going to see here momentarily, I believe, the final outcome of this. We may very likely see 65 yes votes on this. Just getting some information here right now. We may see 65. We may see 66.
Mr. Kane, aye. Mr. Haggerty, no.
And to be clear on this, there's only 50 Democrats in the Senate. So if you get 65 or 66 yes votes on this, you have 15 or 16 Republicans who screwed you. Yeah, the minute they vote, they're jetting out to their Suburbans and heading out to the airport to catch a late-night flight or back to their townhouses. They're going to vote for this to take away your freedoms, and they're going to hit the road. John Wallace says, I'm going to join AFA. Thank you, man. Join AFA.org. Get involved in this fight. We will stand for you. Brian says, I'll never give them any more of my money. Can I add the screen here? Yeah, why not? My good friend Jim Pellis says, yes, Missouri is a safe state. We have the best in the country. You doggone right you do. Fantastic stuff. Is Ohio safe, says George. I wonder if I cannot make the comments display here with too many screens up here. No, George, I mean, you have a very good chance that Rob Portman is going to, he is going to vote for this. He has a couple times already. So we're going to wait and see. So no, Ohio is definitely not safe, just to be clear on that. Hirono from Hawaii. Look at the arrogance. This is just John Cornyn standing here saying, you know what? I'm going to take away guns from millions of Americans before they've ever been arrested, ever been charged, ever been convicted of a crime. The NRA is going to support me. They're not even going to lower my letter grade. And all those gun owners across America are going to get screwed. Doug says his PA safe. Well, I don't know what you mean by safe, Doug, but Pat Toomey is going to, by God, surely vote for this yet tonight. So, no, you're not safe. So, Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas is a yes vote. Shocker. How shocking, right? Randy says SCOTUS needs to rule this unconstitutional. They might do parts of it. It might take years and years and years to get there, though, my man. If you're getting tuned in right now, folks, this is live video feed from the Senate floor in Washington, D.C. We've been here all week watching and fighting against this disastrous push for gun control. This is the live vote happening as we speak. You can watch it on your screen right now in the Senate on gun control. Waiting periods, red flag gun seizures, enhanced background checks. New ways to use the Lautenberg Amendment to take away guns from Americans who do not have felony convictions. Reclassifying what gun trafficking means. This is Minority Report stuff. It is evil. And again, the NRA is helping to make all of this happen.
Mr. Shelby, no. Mr. Inhofe, no.
Angela Payne, I don't know. There is so much money. There's billions of dollars in this bill. I have no doubt the FBI gets a massive cut of that to administer NICS. I can't give you a specific answer, but very likely. Braun from Indiana is a no. How about that? Young's going to be a yes vote the way it sounds from Indiana.
Mr. Sass, no.
Worthless Ben Sass in Nebraska does one thing right in his life, votes no on this bill. David says, why would the NRA do this? What do they have to gain from it? Why could they be so stupid? David, they've always done this. They backed the Brady bill back in the 90s. They backed fixed NICS in 2018. They backed red flag gun seizure laws in 2018. They backed the bump stock ban in 2019. They backed all of the stuff going back to the 60s. They backed all of it. Doug Fisher says, I missed it. How is the NRA involved? Doug, they wrote the bill, okay? They wrote the bill. They have almost all of their A-ranked Republicans backing this on the floor right now. And that's how they did it. I mean, Tony says most of the GOP guys are going to retire this year. Is that true? A bunch of them are, Tony. A bunch of them are. 5 of them are. Yes. 5 of them are. While we're watching, for those who got tuned in late here, I want you guys to watch a video here momentarily. For anybody who's having a hard time with this, if you're wondering how in the heck can this guy say the NRA backed this stuff, I want you guys to watch this video. But I'm going to warn you right now, you may want to throw a bucket very close by. Check this out.
Importantly, we need to stop dangerous people before they act. So Congress should provide funding for states to adopt risk protection orders. This can help prevent violent behavior before it turns into a tragedy. These laws allow a court to intervene and temporarily remove firearms when a person threatens violence to themselves or others. To be effective and constitutional, they should have strong due process protections and require that the person get treatment.
Doesn't say that person has to be convicted of a crime. Doesn't say he has to be indicted for a crime. Doesn't say he has to even be arrested for a crime. Just says take their guns. Just take their guns. So this is what we're talking about, folks. So you don't have to take my word for it. You don't have to trust me. Those videos right there, they speak for themselves. This is disgusting stuff. Big shout out to all the new members who are pouring in right now. I can't track all of my screens here at one time. Gregory from Gaffney, South Carolina, just joined up at joinafa.org. Mike in Felicity, Ohio, just joined up at joinafa.org. Steve from Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania. I was there last week, Steve. Just joined up. Gary in Star, Indiana. Or maybe it's Star in Gary, Indiana. I meant that backwards. Thank you guys for getting involved in this fight. If you haven't yet done so, guys, join up tonight. We will never betray you like the NRA has. We will never give cover to these rat bastards in Washington, D.C. We're on the ground, putting in the work, putting in the time, working the halls of Congress. We will continue to fight for you guys because right now, folks, Ron Woods is how did Blunt vote? Blunt screwed you, Ron. Blunt screwed you. Because right now, folks, this is what's happening in D.C. This is happening right now in real time, and it will not end with this. The minute that this bill passes, the moment that Joe Biden signs it, they will begin immediately to work on everything else they want. AR-15 bans, 30-round magazine bans, a national gun registry, freaking UN small arms treaty. They will not stop with this. This is the first step. Look at them gloating. Take away your freedoms, folks. This will not end. Not here. Will not end. Get some more audio here. The chamber is filtering out. Many of them have already cast their votes. I'm not sure who is left. But most of them have already cast their votes. Let's see who we have left. Yeah, there's Chris Murphy from Connecticut putting his hand on his heart right there, right there. Oh, yes, thank God we're passing a massive gun control bill. Jeff Black says, how about West Virginia? Man, I believe both of them are going to vote bad on this. Both.
Mr. Markey,
here we go. Markey is an aye. Let's see here. Who else do we got? Yeah, Capitol and Manchin both are going to be on this. There's John Barrasso, that feckless limp noodle who's done nothing for gun owners in Wyoming in his entire life.
Aye.
There it is. If you're in Pennsylvania, Pat Toomey right there. He's an aye vote. There you go. Josh Hawley is a no vote. Someone's asking about that. Doug Eby says, man, start pounding on Oz for the Senate. I lost your comment. I'm sorry, man. There's too many comments. To ensure he never votes to back any gun control. You know, Doug, don't forget, Dr. Oz is already in support of banning AR-15s.
Mr. Sanders, aye.
He already backs red flag gun seizure laws, and he already backs magazine bans. So the question there is, why in God's name did Trump endorse him? Terrible, terrible, terrible decisions. Terrible. Is that Leahy there doddering around? I think that's Leahy. It's hard to tell with their masks on which one of these morons we're watching. There's your Joe Manchin right there for our West Virginia friends right there. I'm sure he's a yes vote. He's been a yes vote in this whole thing this entire time. John Douglas.
Aye.
Douglas says J.D. Vance is worse. Yes, he's terrible. Absolutely. He's terrible. Live coverage, folks, of the massive gun control bill being voted on in real time in the United States Senate. We have been fighting for weeks, nonstop, on the ground in D.C., nonstop, having our members, you guys have sent in hundreds of thousands, maybe more emails into D.C. in the last couple of weeks, an uncountable number of phone calls. You guys have been fighting like champions. Thank you. Thank you for all of that. But I want to be clear on this, folks. You and us, all of us, have been betrayed by, again, by the NRA and by RINO rat bastard Republicans in Washington, D.C., who have betrayed you again. Joni Ernst, Iowa, terrible. Roy Blunt, Tom Tillis, Romney, Graham, gosh, who else? Toomey, Portman, Capito, Cassidy, Murkowski, McConnell, Blunt, Ernst, Burr, Cornyn. Horrible people. Horrible people. They must be missing a handful of votes yet. They're just kind of waiting there to have a few more people come in there to cast their votes. This is happening right now, guys. This will go over to the House very, very quickly. Tomorrow should be the vote in the House. Possibly dragging a Saturday. We'll wait and see. James Hedrick, Ernst in Iowa will not receive re-election. We're going to have to wait and see, man. She's got 5 years left. No, that's not true. She's got 4 years and a half left. Yeah, 4.5 years left in Iowa. Angela says over and over, the RINOs betray us, giving Biden everything he wants. Yep. Let me put that comment on the screen. Yep, that's it. Exactly right. Tons of new members getting involved tonight, guys. Get involved. Join AFA.org, because what you're seeing here on your other screen is not going to end. It's not going to end.
Mr. Cruz, no.
Ted Cruz, no vote. That's not a surprise. There's John Thune hiding out in the back row up here, if you can see him on the screen. This guy is from South Dakota. Wants to replace Mitch McConnell. He's number 3 in the Senate Republican conference right now. Complete trash. And here's a guy, for heaven's sakes, who says, when the media says, why does anybody need an AR-15? He says, well, to hunt coyotes. That's the best answer you could give, Senator Thune. What an embarrassment. I grew up very near South Dakota. Know tons of gun owners in South Dakota. They don't have AR-15s and South Command to hunt coyotes. Maybe that's part of it. We own AR-15s to stop tyranny, to save our country. That's why we have them. That's why what they're doing here today is so evil. It is putting us on the path for eventual additional gun control. It's coming 100 miles an hour, folks, and we all know it to be the case. This will not stop here. There's a lot of comments hitting my phone right now, guys. Check out some of our sources on Capitol Hill, trying to get some content here for you guys. A lot going on right now. But again, guys, the highlights here today: a national red flag gun seizure law. Yes, was it Damien? I'm sorry, I cover your screen. Damien, they're voting right now on this bill. Yes. National red flag gun seizures. National waiting period on juvenile gun transactions. New definition on trafficking, which puts you in prison if someone uses your firearm, a gun you sold them, rather, down the road for a felony crime. It is horrible stuff. expanded background check, expanded use of the Lautenberg Amendment to disarm people who do not have felony convictions. And your NRA is helping to make this all possible. I don't have a current whip count in front of me, folks, in terms of how many votes we have on this. We have to be almost done, but we're going to have to wait and see. It's not a done deal yet. Hadar says, F the NRA. I totally agree. This is absolutely insane. James says, this is what our founding fathers warned us against, why we have sacred documents. Yeah, I agree with that. Ron Wood says 66 yes, 34 no. Kathy Easy says we have 97 votes so far. Thank you, Kathy. My feed is not giving me a current count. Thank you for that. I was telling you guys that we're going to have 65 for sure, maybe 66. And from what Ron is saying right now, we already have 66 yes votes on this bill. This is terrible stuff. Doug Nichols says, I'm going to call the NRA and demand a refund for my lifetime membership. I encourage others to do the same thing and use those funds to support AFA. Thank you very much for that, Doug. Guys, this is unforgivable behavior. We can never let this go. You need to call your congressman tomorrow. But when you're done with that, call the freaking NRA and say, damn you for backing this bill, for drafting this bill, and for giving cover and aid to the Republican RINOs and the Democrats, frankly, who are backing this bill. Disgusting. T-Rex says, who's running against in Missouri against Greitens, it says, for Blunt. Eric Schmidt is the pro-gun champion in Missouri. So Eric Greitens is a piece of trash. Eric Greitens would be right here backing this stuff. Eric Greitens, as governor of Missouri, tried temporarily to block constitutional carry when he was a candidate for governor. He instituted a massive security program in the Capitol, metal detectors, TSA level crap in the state capitol for the first time in hundreds of years. And then at the last minute, just last year, Eric Greitens viciously attacked the Second Amendment Preservation Act in Missouri. Eric Greitens is trash. Google it. You will find there's so much stuff out there, folks. There's so much out there. If you're in Missouri, Eric Schmidt has been fighting for gun owners. Eric Schmidt has signed his AFA candidate survey. And yeah.
Mr. Blunt, aye.
There we go, folks. Mr. Blunt, aye. Oh, my God. That's another Republican vote of Missouri. Roy Blunt is a yes vote. So it depends on the math here. We have 65, 66, maybe more on this. For those who were telling me a minute ago about the current vote count, can you confirm for me we have 98 votes then? Are we waiting for two last votes? Is that what this is? Because my screen is not giving me a current whip count. I'd love to see what you can see. If you have confirmation on the total number of votes cast, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, the A's are.
There should be 98 votes.
The yeas are 65, the nays are 33. The motion to concur with an amendment is agreed to.
There it is, folks. 65 to 33. And it's agreed to. There it is. There it is. Yeah, Heath Gray, I see your comment. I did not hear or see Chuck Grassley's name either. So he must be excused tonight. Let me cut this feed here, guys. Give me just 1 second to cut this feed. We've seen enough from the Senate tonight. But guys, that is the fight. It is just past the Senate. Thank you, Rob Nisley, for that confirmation. It has passed the Senate. It goes to the House. It's going to happen very fast. See here, 15 Republicans in the Senate have voted for this. Ron Wood says Grassley was a no vote. Thank you, Ron. I just didn't hear his name. So I take you at your word, man. Thank you for the heads up on that. I just simply didn't catch it. Amy says, so red flags pass? Yeah, red flag funding. It's bribery money for state legislatures to enact red flag laws. That has passed the Senate. It goes to the House. I have no doubt that Pelosi will ram this through very, very quickly. And I want you guys to all remember. This was done by, with the full support of, drafted by, aided by, abetted by the National Rifle Association. Don't ever give them another penny in your entire life. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your kids, tell your grandkids, these people are abandoning us. We will never support them again. And if you live in a state that has these Republicans who voted for this stuff, folks, you need to make sure you burn their phone lines down and never, ever vote for this crap ever again. Folks, it's been a long day here at the office. It's been a long time here. It's been a long couple of weeks on this fight. We're going to bounce here for the moment. More information coming tomorrow. But let this burn in deep. 15 Senate Republicans just stuck you in the ribs tonight with the full support of the National Rifle Association. Terrible stuff. Terrible betrayal. More information tomorrow, guys. Share our video. Go to joinafa.org. Get involved in our fight for freedom, guys. More to come tomorrow. Take care. Stay safe. And keep